The fluorescent lights in the ICU waiting room buzz above my head like angry insects. I'm 28 years old, sitting on a hard plastic chair, staring at tiles that have been mopped so many times the pattern is fading. My hands rest in my lap, numb and cold. The automatic doors swoosh open. A doctor walks in, still wearing his surgical cap, and his face tells me everything before his mouth opens. "We did everything we could," he says quietly. My mother, Brenda, makes a sound I've never heard before. It's not a sob. It's sharp, like air being sucked through a straw. Her head turns slowly toward me. Her eyes are bone-dry and freezing cold. "You," she hisses. The word hangs in the air like smoke. Then she moves. Her hand comes up fast and cracks across my face. The slap echoes through the silent room. My cheek burns. "This is your fault. All your endless, selfish nagging about money. You stressed him to death. You killed your father." My older brother Kyle steps between us, but not to protect me. He shoves my shoulder hard. "Get out, Paige. Just go. You've done enough." The funeral happens 3 days later. I sit alone in the back pew of the church where I was baptized. People I've known my whole life walk past me like I'm invisible. Some whisper. Some stare. Nobody sits near me. After the service at the house, I stand by the door holding my purse, waiting for someone to acknowledge me. Brenda appears from the kitchen. She's holding a small banker's box, the kind you get from office supply stores. She walks up to me and pushes it into my stomach. I grab it reflexively. "Your old things," she says. Her voice is flat and dead. "The will is being read Friday. Don't bother coming. Kyle and I are the sole beneficiaries. We're selling the house. You are no longer welcome here." I open my mouth to speak, but she steps back inside and closes the door. The lock clicks. I'm standing on the porch in the rain, holding a box of my childhood, with nowhere to go. I walk to my car and sit behind the wheel for 20 minutes before I can turn the key. I've been living in a weekly rate motel for 5 days. The walls are thin and the carpet smells like cigarettes, but it's all I can afford. My joint account with Dad has been frozen. Brenda called the bank and told them I was trying to steal from the estate. I'm sorting through the banker's box on the sagging bed. Old yearbooks. A few baby photos. A dried corsage from prom. Then a crumpled envelope falls out from between 2 books. It's from Provident Life Insurance, a premium reminder notice. I stare at it for a long time. Finally, I call the number on the back, just to tell them my father passed away. A woman answers. She's polite and professional. She asks for my father's policy number, then goes quiet. "Ma'am, I see here that a claim has already been filed by your mother. However, it's been flagged for a mandatory review." My heart starts to pound. "Why?" She hesitates. "The policy is substantial, and there was a note on his medical file regarding acute, non-medical stress. It's just a formality." A week later, I meet a man named Mr. Grant at a diner on the edge of town. He's from the insurance company, and he doesn't look like what I expected. He's maybe 50, with wire-rimmed glasses and a briefcase that looks older than me. He orders coffee and opens a file folder. "Your mother and brother gave statements," he says. "They claim you were financially exploiting your father, that you demanded money constantly, and caused the stress that led to his heart attack." I feel like I've been punched in the chest. "That's not true," I say, and my voice cracks. "I was asking him where the money was going. I saw his bank statements by accident. Thousands of dollars in cash withdrawals, every single week. I thought he was gambling or in some kind of trouble." Mr. Grant writes something down. His face is unreadable. I can tell he doesn't know who to believe. "Do you have any proof?" he asks. I shake my head. "I have nothing." He closes the folder and stands up. "I'll be in touch," he says and walks out. I need my birth certificate to apply for a job at a call center. I still have my old house key. And I know Brenda and Kyle go to her sister's every Thursday for dinner. I park down the street and wait until the house is dark. My hands shake as I unlock the front door. The house smells the same, like coffee and my dad's cologne. I move quickly to his study. His desk, the big oak one he bought at an estate sale, has a drawer he always kept locked. But now it's slightly open. I pull it all the way out. Inside, underneath some old tax papers, I find a cheap prepaid phone. It's the kind you buy at a gas station. I power it on. The battery is almost dead, but there's enough charge to see the messages. All of them are from one number. The last text, sent the day before he died, reads, "He knows. He's demanding double. I can't do this anymore. I'm telling them the truth." My blood runs cold. Mr. Grant calls me 2 days later. His tone is completely different. "Paige, I need you to sit down," he says. I'm already sitting, but I grip the edge of the motel desk anyway. "Your mother's claim form listed only herself and her son Kyle as beneficiaries. But when I pulled the original policy from our archives, it's different. Your father listed 3 people, Brenda, Kyle, and you. Each of you were supposed to get 1/3. I can't breathe. The room tilts. She lied. I whisper. "Not just lied," Mr. Grant says. His voice is hard now. "She committed fraud. She tried to erase you from the policy entirely. If she lied about that, Paige, she's lying about everything else." He pauses. "I'm opening a full investigation. And I'm going to find out what really killed your father." For the first time since the hospital, I feel something other than grief. I feel a tiny, dangerous spark of hope. Mr. Grant becomes my ally. He calls me every few days with updates. He's meticulous, pulling bank records, cross-referencing dates. The cash withdrawals weren't random, he tells me. They were all from the same ATM, across town in a place called Maple Grove. I've never even heard of Maple Grove. Then he finds something else. There's a second bank account, one your mother didn't know about. Monthly payments were being sent to someone named V. Shaw. The memo line says property management. I write the name down on a napkin. V. Shaw. Do you know who that is? Mr. Grant asks. I shake my head, but my stomach twists. Something about this feels wrong. Worse than wrong. I'm going to find the address, he says. I'll call you back. When he does 2 hours later, his voice is quiet. Paige, I think you need to see this for yourself. The address leads me to a small neighborhood 30 miles away. The houses are neat and normal, with little front yards and mailboxes shaped like barns. I park across the street from number 42, and sit there for over an hour. My hands are sweating on the steering wheel. Finally, the front door opens. A woman steps out. She's pretty, with dark hair pulled into a ponytail, and she's wearing jeans and a sweater. She walks to the mailbox. And holding her hand, toddling beside her on unsteady legs, is a little boy. He's maybe 4 years old. He has my father's nose. My father's dark curly hair. My father's smile. I watch them go back inside, and I sit in the car, shaking. My father had another child. Another life. Another family. The world I thought I knew shatters into 1,000 pieces. I get out of the car before I can talk myself out of it. I walk up the path and knock on the door. The woman, Valerie, opens the door. When she sees me, all the color drains from her face. She knows exactly who I am. Please, she whispers, glancing back into the house. Please, he was going to tell you. He was going to tell everyone. Her voice breaks. I should be angry. I should scream. But I just feel hollow. Can I come in? I ask quietly. She nods and steps aside. The house is small but cozy. There are photos everywhere. Photos of my father. Smiling. Laughing. Holding the little boy, who I now know is named Julian. In these pictures, my father looks younger. Happier. Valerie makes tea with shaking hands, and sits across from me at the kitchen table. I'm not a homewrecker, she says, tears spilling down her cheeks. We've been together for 6 years. He said he was going to leave your mother after your brother got stable. He was just waiting for the right time. I stare into my tea. My father wasn't just having an affair. He was living an entire second life. And I never knew. Valerie talks for an hour, and I just listen. She tells me my father loved me. That he talked about me all the time. That he felt horrible for keeping this secret. But the stress, she says, wiping her eyes. The last few months, he was so stressed. He couldn't sleep. He was losing weight. I lean forward. Stress from what? She shakes her head. The money. He was paying for this house, yes, but that wasn't the problem. It was something else. Someone found out about us. About Julian. My pulse quickens. Who? Valerie's face crumples. He wouldn't tell me at first. He said he was handling it. But one night, he broke down. He said someone was threatening to destroy everything. To tell your mother and turn me into some kind of villain, a gold digger who trapped him. He was paying them to keep quiet. She looks at me with red, swollen eyes. He was being blackmailed, Paige. I pull out the burner phone I found in my father's desk. I show Valerie the text message. He knows. He's demanding double. I can't do this anymore. Valerie reads it and lets out a choked sob. That's the phone he used to text me from. He bought it so your mother wouldn't see. I sit back, my mind racing. Who is he? Who was blackmailing him? Valerie looks at me, and her face twists with guilt and fear. Your brother, she whispers. Kyle. The name hits me like a slap. What? Kyle showed up here 2 months ago, Valerie says, her voice shaking. He followed your dad. He knocked on the door and saw Julian. He saw everything. And then he told your father that he'd tell your mother the whole story. That he'd make sure I looked like a criminal who ruined the family. Unless your dad paid him. Every week. Cash. I feel sick. My brother. My golden, perfect brother. He was extorting our father. He was bleeding him dry. And the stress of it killed him. I sit in Valerie's living room, staring at Julian as he plays with blocks on the floor. He looks up at me with my father's eyes and smiles. He's innocent. He didn't ask for any of this. Neither did Valerie. Neither did I. And yet, we're the ones paying the price. My mother is trying to steal the entire life insurance payout. I tell Valerie quietly. She and Kyle told the insurance company that I was the one stressing Dad out. That I killed him. Valerie's eyes go wide. That's insane. I know, I say. But they're doing it. And they're going to get away with it unless we fight back. I look at her. We have to tell the truth. About Kyle. About the blackmail. About everything. Valerie is terrified. I can see it in her face. She's afraid of being exposed, of being judged, of losing the little stability she has. But she nods. Okay, she says. Okay. For your dad. And for Julian. We shake hands. We're in this together now. 2 women my father loved, united against the people who destroyed him. I bring Valerie to meet Mr. Grant at his office downtown. She's nervous, clutching her purse in her lap, but she tells him everything. About the relationship. About Julian. About Kyle showing up and demanding money. Mr. Grant listens, taking notes, his face getting harder and harder. When she's done, he sits back in his chair. This changes everything, he says. He opens another file. Your father was a smart man, Paige. He knew this was coming. 6 months ago, he took out a second life insurance policy with a different company. A smaller one, about $500,000. He slides a document across the desk. He listed only 2 beneficiaries. You and Julian Shaw. I stare at the paper. My father was protecting us. Even in the middle of all that chaos and fear, he was thinking ahead. There's more, Mr. Grant says. If Kyle was extorting him, that's a crime. And if that extortion caused the stress that led to his heart attack, then your mother's claim isn't just fraudulent. It's based on a lie that covers up a felony. 2 days later, Kyle calls me. I almost don't answer, but something tells me I should. His voice is smooth, fake friendly, the way it used to be when he wanted something from me as kids. Hey Paige, he says. Look, I know things got heated. Mom's just grieving, you know? We all are. I stay silent. I want to make things right, he continues. We're willing to give you $50,000 from the estate. That's more than fair, right? You just need to sign a waiver with the insurance company. Tell them you're satisfied, and we can all move on. Put this behind us. $52,000. Out of a $3 million policy. He thinks I'm stupid. Mr. Grant is sitting across from me, and he nods. He's already told me to record this. Why, Kyle? I ask, my voice shaking. Why did you tell Mom it was my fault? Kyle scoffs. Because it was easy, Paige. You were always the weak one. Now just sign the paper and stop making this harder than it needs to be. We meet at a cafe downtown, one with big windows and lots of people. I want witnesses. Kyle walks in wearing a suit, playing the part of the grieving son. He sits down and slides a document across the table. I don't touch it. What about the money? I ask. The money I asked Dad about? Kyle's smile falters. What money? The cash withdrawals. Thousands of dollars every week. I asked Dad where it was going, and he wouldn't tell me. That's what you and Mom are blaming me for, right? Nagging him about money. Kyle leans back, irritated. Dad had his reasons for what he did with his money. I push harder. What reasons, Kyle? He leans in close, and his voice drops to a venomous whisper. He was going to ruin us, Paige. Ruin our family. For that woman and her brat. I did what I had to do to protect us. He owed me. He owed Mom. Now sign the damn paper. I stand up, my phone in my pocket still recording every word. No, I say. And I walk out. I send the recording to Mr. Grant before I even get to my car. Within 24 hours, everything explodes. Brenda and Kyle receive certified letters via overnight courier. I'm not there, but Valerie's neighbor who knows someone, tells me that Kyle opened his on the front porch and went white as a sheet. The letter is from Provident Life Insurance. It's a formal denial of the $3 million claim. The reason is listed in cold legal language: beneficiary fraud, material misrepresentation, and evidence that the insured's acute stress and subsequent cardiac event were the direct result of sustained financial extortion perpetrated by his son, Kyle Brennan. The letter goes on. The insurance company is referring the matter to law enforcement. They're also filing a civil suit against both Brenda and Kyle to recoup their investigation costs. Mr. Grant calls me that evening. It's done, he says. They're not getting a dime. I sit on the edge of the motel bed and cry for the first time since my father died. The story hits the local news 2 days later. I'm sitting in the same diner where I first met Mr. Grant, and the television above the counter flickers to life. The anchor's voice is smooth and detached. A local man has been arrested on charges of extortion and elder abuse following an investigation by Provident Life Insurance. The screen cuts to footage of Kyle being let out of his condo in handcuffs. His face is red, and he's shouting something I can't hear. Brenda is behind him, screaming at the reporters. The anchor continues. Kyle Brennan allegedly blackmailed his father for over $60,000 in the months leading up to the man's fatal heart attack. The insurance company has denied a multi-million-dollar claim filed by the victim's widow. Mr. Grant is sitting across from me, sipping his coffee. How does it feel? He asks quietly. I don't know how to answer. It doesn't feel like victory. It just feels like the truth, finally, after being buried for so long. The fallout is brutal. Brenda's savings are drained paying for Kyle's lawyer. She has to halt the sale of the house because the insurance company has placed a lien on it as part of their civil suit. She's trapped. But there's one more thing. One more secret my father left behind. His lawyer, a kind older man named Mr. Peterson, calls me. Paige, I need to see you. We meet at his office. He looks tired. Your father came to see me 2 weeks before he died, Mr. Peterson says. He was distraught. Frightened. He asked me to draft a new will immediately. He slides the document across the desk. I read it, and my hands start to shake. Kyle is explicitly disinherited. Brenda is left $10, the legal minimum. Everything else, the house, the stocks, the savings, all of it, is to be divided equally between me and a trust established for Julian Shaw. He signed it the day before he died, Mr. Peterson says quietly. I think he knew he was running out of time. Kyle takes a plea deal. He's sentenced to 4 years in prison. Brenda, who the prosecutor proves knew about the blackmail and encouraged it, loses the civil suit. The judge orders her to pay the insurance company $200,000 in investigative costs and legal fees. She doesn't have it. The house I grew up in, the house where my father taught me to ride a bike and help me with my homework, goes to auction. It sells for less than it's worth because of the scandal attached to it. The money goes straight to the insurance company and the lawyers. Brenda moves into a 1-bedroom apartment in a bad part of town. I hear this all through Mr. Grant, who has become something like a friend. He tells me she's working part-time at a grocery store. I feel nothing when I hear it. Not pity. Not satisfaction. Just a hollow kind of relief that it's over. But it's not over. 3 months later, I'm served with papers. Brenda is suing me, Valerie, and the insurance company. I sit in my car and read the complaint, and I can't believe what I'm seeing. She's claiming that Valerie and I conspired together to alienate my father's affections, that we coerced him into changing his will, that we manipulated him and caused him so much emotional distress that it led to his heart attack. She's blaming us for his death. She's actually still trying to blame us. My hands shake with rage. This is insane. This is desperate and baseless and cruel. But it's also dangerous. If she can convince even one jury that there's a shred of truth to it, she could tie up the estate for years. Mr. Grant calls me that night. Don't panic, he says. We'll fight this. And we'll win. Brenda's lawyer is a sharp, cold woman who clearly took the case on contingency, hoping for a big payout. During my deposition, she grills me for hours. You hated your mother, didn't you, Miss Brennan? No, I say. You resented your brother. No. You saw an opportunity to get rich, and you took it. I look her straight in the eye. I loved my father. I just wanted the truth. She tries to twist everything. She tries to make it sound like I went looking for Valerie to build a case. She implies that I manipulated Mr. Grant. But I stay calm. I tell the truth over and over, until the words lose all meaning. When it's over, I walk out of that conference room feeling exhausted but steady. Valerie goes through the same thing. They try to paint her as a seductress, a liar, an opportunist. But she holds her ground too. We're stronger than Brenda thinks. The case goes to trial. It's a civil trial, quick and brutal. Brenda's lawyer calls character witnesses, people from the neighborhood who say my father was a good man, which proves nothing. She shows photos of me and my father at my high school graduation, trying to imply we were distant. It's all smoke and mirrors. Then my lawyer stands up. She's a bulldog of a woman named Ms. Reyes, and she calls a surprise witness. The bailiff opens the door, and Kyle shuffles in. He's wearing a prison jumpsuit. His hands are cuffed in front of him. Brenda gasps. No, she whispers. Kyle sits in the witness box and refuses to look at her. My lawyer asks him direct questions, and he answers in a flat, dead voice. Yes, he blackmailed our father. Yes, Brenda knew. Yes, she told him to get what you're owed before that woman gets it all. The courtroom goes silent. Brenda is crying, but nobody cares. The judge doesn't even take a recess. He rules from the bench. This lawsuit is frivolous and malicious, he says, his voice hard. It is a transparent attempt to continue the fraud and extortion that has already been prosecuted. He dismisses the case with prejudice, meaning Brenda can never refile it. Then he does something I didn't expect. He sanctions her. She has to pay my legal fees. All of them. It's over $30,000. Brenda makes a sound I'll never forget. It's not a scream or a cry. It's something broken and animalistic. She collapses in her chair, and her lawyer has to help her out of the courtroom. Kyle is led back to prison. I sit there, numb, as the room empties. Ms. Reyes puts a hand on my shoulder. You're free, she says. I nod. But I don't feel free. I feel like I've been through a war. And I'm the only one left standing. Months pass. The estate finally clears probate. I use my share to pay off my debts and put a down payment on a small, quiet house. I help Valerie and Julian move into a safe, clean condo in a good school district. Julian is in preschool now, and he's thriving. He calls me Paige, and sometimes Sissy, which makes my heart ache in a good way. I'm in his room, building a train set on the floor, when my phone rings. It's an unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Paige. It's Brenda. Her voice is almost unrecognizable. It's thin and raspy, like she's been crying for days. Paige, please. I'm at a shelter. I have nothing. I'm alone. I'm your mother. You can't let me starve. I look at Julian, who is laughing as the little wooden train chugs along the track. He's innocent. He's good. He's the only thing worth saving from this whole nightmare. I stand up and walk out into the hallway, closing the door behind me so Julian can't hear. I put the phone to my ear. You disowned me, Brenda. I say, and my voice is calm and clear. You told me I wasn't your family. You blamed me for my father's death in front of everyone. You tried to steal my inheritance. You backed Kyle when he extorted my father. You sued me to cover up your own crimes. She's sobbing now, begging, but I keep talking. You made your choices. And you're living with them now. That's not cruelty. That's consequence. I pause. You told me I killed my father. But the truth is, you and Kyle destroyed him. And you tried to destroy me too. I take a breath. I'm not like you. I don't kick people when they're down. But I'm also not going to let you pull me under. I hang up. I block the number. I walk back into Julian's room. And I sit down on the floor beside him. He hands me a train car and grins. I smile back. I am free.